Did you know that you could add multiple users to your Starlink account? Well, if you didn't, this is the video for you. I'm going to be talking about Starlink's account management system and how you could add different users to your account, how you can configure them with different roles so that they have different levels of permission based on what you want them to have access to. We're going to be taking a look at all that in detail, so let's jump right into it. So it was actually back in February when Starlink first allowed the ability to add multiple users to any Starlink account. So if you had a residential account, you could have up to 3 users, including the account owner, on a single account. All these users would have the same permissions though. So for example, if you were a landlord and you needed to add one of your tenants to your Starlink account so that they could manage the dish that was installed on their rental, that user would have all the same permissions as you, including access to billing, ordering different mounts and accessories at the Starlink shop, that kind of thing. Well, today Starlink has changed all that and they've introduced a thing called role-based access control. So role-based access control allows you to configure different permissions in the form of roles to any Starlink user on your account. So in this way, you'll be able to really customize what each user has access to for like billing, for accessory ordering and shop access, or even creating support tickets. So let's now turn our attention to the computer here and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we are at the Starlink website. So if you log in to starlink.com, you'll be directed to this page right here, which is your account dashboard. And this is my little test account here, my John Doe account. And I have a couple of service plans here. And I'm going to be showing you how to, first of all, how to add a user to your Starlink account. Now, this is a residential consumer account, so I have the ability to add up to 3 people, including myself, to this account. And to get to that section, what you need to do is go into the menu here up at the top right and click on this little gear icon. So when you click on the gear icon, you'll be directed to the user page on your account. And as you can see, I'm the only one right now configured, and I am the administrator. Each Starlink account has to have at least one administrator, and the owner by default will have that role. To add a new user, just click this button right here that says Add User. So on this page right here, you'll have to fill out their contact information, including their name, phone number, email, that sort of thing. And then you get down here to roles. So this right here is the new update as of today, which is the role-based access control system. And if you click on it, you can see you have about 9 different roles that you can assign. Now you can assign 1 or more roles depending on what you want this user to be able to have access to. And I'm going to cover this in more detail in the next section, but as far as adding users, you just need to select at least 1 role. Once you fill out all this information and assign a user role, click Add User to add that user to your account. Okay, so once you've added a user, they'll be sent an email from Starlink to set up their password. And once they've set up that password, they'll be able to log in and everything. You'll see them here displayed here with their user roles and contact information. To delete a user, you can see the delete icon here, and then you can also edit the information anytime by clicking the edit icon. You can change their roles. You won't be able to change any of their contact information. If you need to change email or name, you'll have to delete this user and then add a new one. Okay, so let's talk about user roles for a second. That's kind of the main topic of this video, is Starlink's new role-based access control. So if we go over to the Starlink support page, they have a topic here on role-based access control, and it details all of the different roles that are available to select. So I thought this was the easiest way to show you exactly what each role means and what it does. So obviously, administrator, admin here has the full functionality of the account on starlink.com. So by default, the account owner is the admin, but you can also add other users as administrators. Billing has access to anything that makes changes to your bill. So like they can make payments, they can update the credit card information on the account, they can view invoices, and they can also order accessories from the shop, cancel, pause, or resume service, things like that. There's also a read-only version of billing, which allows you to view all the information about billing, but they can't make any changes to it. They can just read, they can just view the information, they can't actually change anything. The next access role is technical. So technical has the ability to change settings for the equipment and the service plans. They can update the IP policy. If you have a business account, they can take actions like stowing and rebooting the system remotely from the Starlink.com account portal. There's also a technical read-only role, which can view information about your service plan and equipment, but they can't actually make any changes. The next role is support. So every access role has access to the FAQs, the Starlink support page, but the support role gives you the ability to create, view, and respond to support tickets. There's also a read-only version of that, which can view the tickets, but they can't respond or create new ones. And then finally here we have user management. So the user management role can manage users on the account. They can add, delete, edit, and view users on the account. There's also a read-only version, just like with the other roles, where they can view the users and roles, but they can't actually change anything. And Starlink also provides a couple of examples on how these roles can be used. You know, if you're a landlord and you have a rental home with Starlink internet service, you can add your tenant as a user on your account and give them access to billing. So that way they can pay their bill, they can pay for the service themselves. You'll retain access to support and technical and ordering replacement parts and everything like that, but they'll be able to handle the billing themselves. Another thing you might want to do is have family members or friends added on as maybe technical and support roles so that they can do some troubleshooting if you're away from home and they still need to access the internet. So there are some caveats and limitations that you should know about with this new role-based access control for the Starlink account management system. So first of all, just note that the rules only apply to the Starlink.com website and the account portal on the website. It doesn't have any effect within the Starlink app itself. So when one of your users logs into the app, they'll have full access to all the app features and functions, even though you may have configured them into a role that's not supposed to have any of those functions. Starlink says that they'll be expanding the user roles to apply to the Starlink app sometime in the future. Starlink has also talked about targeted email notifications. So one feature that's really not available right now through this role-based access control is notifications by roles. So for example, you may want the person that's assigned to your billing role to get payment and invoice notification emails from Starlink. Well, right now that's not available. The emails that are sent out will be sent to the account admin, and there's really no way to specify which users should get which emails. And finally, it's important to note that residential accounts are limited to 3 total users, and business accounts are limited to 500 total users. So if you have a residential account, you, the owner, will be user number 1, so you can add up to 2 additional users. So you kind of really have to be picky on who you add. I wish they would at least bump that up to 5. I think that would be a lot more useful for most people's use cases. So let me know what you think about this change in the comments below. I think the role-based access control is a really useful feature. They released the ability to add different users to your account back in February, but in my opinion, it wasn't really useful back then because you couldn't specify or limit access to different features. But now you can do that. Now you can limit people to certain functions and abilities on your Starlink account. But I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what examples and use cases that you guys have in mind for this new role-based security. If you're adding different users to your Starlink account, who are you adding and what is your use case? What are you adding them for? I'd love to hear the ideas that you guys have for using this new feature in the comments below. So I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.